Let's turn our attention now to the teeth of the oral cavity. You will be responsible for identifying the different types of teeth and structures, regions, or substances of the teeth. Certainly you are aware that there are two types of teeth. You have the deciduous teeth, also called milk teeth, that develop around 6 months, and usually they're all in for about 2.5 years of age, and then they are shed starting at about 6 years of age, and then they're gradually replaced by permanent teeth. For the purposes of this lab, we're going to focus on permanent dentition. This is an image that's similar to images in your book and lab manual, but those images are actually better than this one. Make sure that you are able to distinguish between incisors, canines, premolars, and molars, that you can correctly identify them from images, or if I were to show pictures of actual models of teeth. When studying images of the tooth, please make sure that you read the description of the images, because I find that students mix structures and regions up, as well as spaces with regions and substances with structures, etc. Don't just memorize images. Read what the different terms are. It will save you from making some unfortunate errors on quizzes and exams. Let's go over this image, shall we? First, a tooth has 3 regions. The crown is the portion that is above the gum line. The root is the portion that is below the gum line. And the neck is that region that is right between the crown and the root. It sort of bridges that gap at the gum line. Enamel is the outer substance of the crown, and again, it's a substance. The crown is the region. The enamel is the substance, the outer substance of the crown. And deep to that is the dentin, shown here in blue. In the crown, we have a cavity that contains nerves, blood vessels, other tissues. That's the pulp cavity. And the pulp cavity becomes the root canal when it enters the root. The pulp cavity and the root canal are spaces. So if you're asked to name the space, it's pulp cavity, or name the space here, it's root canal. If I ask you to name the space here, don't say root. If I ask you to name the region, then it would be root. If I ask you to name the space, it's root canal. In the root, we don't have this outer layer of enamel. Instead, we have a substance called cement or cementum. It's very similar to bone. It is attached to the periodontal membrane or periodontal ligament, which is a fibrous structure which connects the cementum to the bone and holds the tooth in place. It also acts like a little shock absorber during chewing. Let's identify the anatomy of the tooth on an actual tooth model. You're looking at the sagittal section of a canine model. If I were to ask you to name the region, the answer would be crown. If I asked you to name the region, Root. Name the region. Neck. If I asked you to name the substance, enamel would be the answer. Name the substance. Dentin. Name the space. Pulp cavity. Name the space. Root canal. Students often ask, well, what about the periodontal ligament? What about the cement or cementum? I never ask for those structures from the models. From the images, they're fair game, but not from the model.